Joyfully Empowered is about feeling uplifted, inspired, and connected to your intuition. This is the place where dreams are possible, cups are half full, and community is solid. Topics include spirituality, leadership, feminine wealth, intuition, manifestation, and our sacred work. This is where bold self-starters, powerful women just like yourself, come to refill their je ne sais quoi to continue spreading a little magic to the world. I am Stephanie Verchot, a spicy Latina, mom, and relentless about supporting people achieving their dreams by following their intuition. Welcome to Joyfully Inspired. And by inspired, I mean empowered, my friends. We are getting started. I am so excited. It is a rainy day here and it's so cozy. And I'm so happy to be here. So today we're talking about one of my favorite tools just to feel energetically peaceful, to feel like you have boundaries, to feel just more free and joyful in your life, honestly. And it's the Let Them theory that's been popularized by Mel Robbins. So if you've been drained by trying to explain yourself and prove your worth and overgive to others and all of that stuff, this episode is exactly for you. So before we get started, let me just, I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to talk and share some updates. So I'm in the office today. It is Saturday. It is rainy. Let me tell you, I did not feel like leaving my home this morning. When I woke up, my alarm goes off around, it was like 5 or 5:15 this morning. And then it was so rainy and so cozy. And Dylan Joy and I bed share. So all of us are in bed and it's just like cuddled up and it's so delicious. And then I snoozed, which I rarely do for like half an hour. And I woke up, take a shower, and then I hear her waking up, which was actually really sweet. Usually I leave at by 6 and she's still sleeping. But because I slept a little bit earlier this morning, I slept in, then she woke up and then it was really sweet because we were getting ready together. And she was like, I was doing my hair, which by the way, I got the maybe in the future I'll invest in the Dyson Airwrap, but as of right now, that's $700 equipment. It's just, it's not the vibe. But I got another one by Conair, which is we love, we trust. It was probably I think it was $35. And I can add it on the show notes. And my hair, if you're listening to this, you cannot see it, but in case you're watching it on YouTube or Substack, my hair's looking pretty good. It was really nice. So it's I'm sure you've seen it a million times. It's it's like the brush, but it's also like a blow dryer. And I'm into it. So anyways, we were I was blow drying my hair. She was fluffing up her curls and I was putting on makeup and she was putting on her little lip gloss. And then I got her this little set of Play-Doh that you can make little cupcakes. And so then we played a little bit. This is all at 6:30, from 6:30 to, 7:15 this morning. And at the end of it, we were just she's like, let me help you make snacks. So, we grab a couple oranges and little snacks and I'm putting them away or whatever. And then she's like, Mama, I don't want you to go. And I'm like, so I told her, I was like, I don't want to go either, sweet girl. But, Mama made a commitment to go to work today and get some stuff done, and it's important that we are women of integrity and we say what we're going to do. And I talked to her a lot about that, if you say you're going to do something, you do it, And of course, there's exceptions, but I think it's an important lesson to instill. So then she ran to the bathroom. And again, if you're watching this video, you're going to be able to see, but she gave me this bracelet. If you're not watching the video, it's this sparkly purple bracelet that we made together with all these little stickers. So she had, she gave me mine, she had hers. And I said, when I think about you today, when I miss you, I'm going to look at the bracelet. And then I always tell her, my sister shared with me a while ago, but it always stuck with me. She's like, I always tell her, I'm like, we have I don't tell her umbilical cord because I don't think that at this point it means anything to her, but I say, we have this invisible cord that it's always connected and it's connected from your heart to my heart. So even though I'm not here with you, we're always connected. And then there's this song from Daniel Tiger, which is this very popular kids cartoon that's very sweet and very wholesome for the moms. If you have not watched Daniel Tiger, Highly, highly recommend. But there's a song that says like grown-ups come back, you know? So then we're singing grown-ups come back. And I'm also excited. And I was telling her the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna go to work and then mama is gonna go to a show with her friends because of course I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I want to be with her every second of the day. And that's not the healthiest, like if I'm literally doing that for like her independence as an adult, even though I'm fully believer that this whole thing about like being independent at like 1, 2, 3, it's like too much in the United States. I really do. I think our babies need us. I think we have to create healthy attachment with our kids. So I'm with her a lot and I'm constantly nurturing healthy attachment. If you're not familiar with the attachment theory, that you can have like healthy attachment, avoidant attachment, or anxious attachment. And that is formed when you are a kid with your parents or your caretakers. I won't get into that right now, but look it up. There is a book that's awesome. I think it's called Attached. But you want to form healthy attachment with your kids, which is what's going to lead to independence and having healthy relationships as adults. So even though like the bed sharing, she's still breastfeeding before going to bed, I think to certain people, it might be like, oh my God, how is she going to be independent? Honestly, it's the total opposite. Like when I do drop off at classes or when I take her to friends' houses, she's a very healthy, independent kid. But it might sound counterintuitive. I'm fostering healthy attachment by still having like really close, intimate connections with like the breastfeeding or bed sharing or talking to her about things like, yeah, we're missing each other, but mama also is going to work, mama's also going to go to the show with her friends, like, so she knows that there is a life going on. Like I am fully her mom and I'm also a woman and I'm also a business owner and I'm also a wife, because I don't only want her to see me through the lens of just a mom. And for her, I'm always going to be a mom. And I love that. It's like literally the best thing ever. But when I'm thinking of her, like Dr. Becky she's a child psychologist. She talks a lot about this. Like the things that the way you're disciplining your kids now and the way you're supporting them in their growth is for the future. So when I think about her as like, 8 or 10 or 14 or 25 or 37 or 44, and then on and on and on, it's like, I want her to in her life be a mom, she wants to, but also be a business owner. She wants to, and also be, like there's multiple dimensions of who we are, right? So I have to model that for her. I'm with her. We spent all day yesterday together. Thursday I was off. It was so good. Today I come to work, tomorrow we're together. And I think she's getting like a really solid balance of like, mommy's with me and I'm present and I put my phone away. But sometimes she goes to work, sometimes she travels. When I go out with my friends, I tell her I'm going to go out with my friends and we're going to go to a show or whatever it is that we're doing, just like you do with your friends, because she has play dates and she has parties. Okay, right. So it's like we are 360, we're holistic people. And I want her to view me as that, because I want her to have that kind of life. I want her to be, multi-dimensional woman that knows the power of being like a mom, a business owner, or she wants to go into like, the corporate world and a wife or whatever it is, but we get to do it all, basically. Okay. So she gives me the bracelet. We give each other a hug. I tell her about the umbilical cord. And then here I am at the office. So I'm super excited because usually I got into the office, I think around like 8 o'clock today. Normally I get in around 7. But anyways, it's going to be a short day for me because I'm going to go see the Alicia Keys Broadway performance that's called Hell's Kitchen. And this is the last thing. And then we're going to get into Mel Robbins. Oh my God, so many updates. Okay, so I've always loved Alicia Keys forever, literally since my 20s, since like her first albums from like, years and years ago. Like her music was always like a catalyst and supported me through so many stages of my life. So earlier this week, my husband was playing her music and Girl on Fire, right? Iconic Alicia Keys song came up. And then Dylan Joy was asking Dwayne, like, Daddy, what is that song? Who sings that? So he's telling her all these things. And then he found on YouTube the Tiny Desk performance of Alicia Keys. So we saw it together and she loves her. Like, I so wish I could take her to the show because honestly I would, but it's too long. And I know it's not like, it's too much stimulation and all the things. But the fact that I've loved Alicia Keys for decades and she's been a staple in my life, and I've sang Girl on Fire, laughing, crying, excited, like that song, and all her songs are like such core memories as like a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old. And the fact that my daughter loves her, like, what is this life? Like there are certain things that I'm like, I'm singing Alicia Keys as like a 19-year-old, and now I have a daughter who's singing Girl on Fire. And oh my gosh, it's just beautiful and poetic and heart filling. So I'm so excited. It's going to be a great day. So yeah, I'm going to work a little bit. I'm going to get all this stuff done. I'm going to meet my friend, and it's going to be so fun. So those are the updates. I hope you enjoy all the little things happening in my life, and let's get to it. So, what is the Let Them theory? Okay. So, it's been coined by Mel Robbins. If you don't know Mel Robbins, she is a coach, she is a speaker. I think she's also potentially officially a psychologist. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But she's been around for a long time and she's great. Quick note, by the way, this is a book she just also published very recently. I have not read the book, okay? But it's fine because this theory of let them, she like coined it and popularized it, but it's been around forever. Like most things in life, right? Like it's a cycle. It goes in and goes out. The idea is that if they, and we're gonna get into it, but if the friend, the family, the world, they want to think that about you, that you are too much, that you are selfish, that you are, whatever, right? Like you're too funny, you're too smart, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too whatever. Let them, right? If they want to behave in that way, let them. It's all about releasing control. You cannot control others. You can control, however, your peace, your reaction, your alignment, your integrity. I always talk about like you can clean you can only clean your side of the street. You know what I mean? Like you can't be looking at a neighbor's apartment and be like, oh my God, that's so dirty. How, like, let them, or oh my God, I can't believe that they said they were going to do that and they did them. Let them, right? And this is something that, holy bananas, I've been working on my entire life. And I'm sure as you're listening to this, you're like, yep, me too. Because look, there's many reasons. We want to control others. Also, when we're focused on other people, we tend to not focus on ourselves. And sometimes that's easier. I read this in a book and I haven't done it yet, but I think we'll see when I do it. This book says, send an email to your closest friends and your clients, people you've worked with, all the people in your life, and basically ask them. It's something like, I forget exactly what the wording is, but it's something like, what do you think of me? And it gives, because we tend to be, have like blind spots, and we tend to like, how have I shown up in your life? What did I lead? Like, it's like a series of questions. Like, how did I impact you the most? How did I support it? What do you think my blind spots are? Because I'm in this like, chapter of growth and I want to know my blind spots, and it's a little bit on allowing you to have a 360. So that's different because that's you wanting to grow. This of like wanting to control others, not wanting to see your side of the street, because you're more focused on others. It's a little bit of like, it's easier to fix others than to like fix yourself, or it's easier to worry about what others are doing than to have like a hard look in the mirror and be like, there are so many things that I could be focusing on myself, right? But when you stop trying to fix, please, convince others, you get your life back, right? And look, there are some instances that you have to have hard conversations, right? Like if somebody is completely dishonoring your boundaries, disrespecting you, I'm not saying let them and you're still going to be like a wallflower, right? But that's when you stop taking their calls, right? That's when you stop hanging out with them. That's when you break up with them or leave them, right? Because you're like, I can't change them, but I'm also not just going to sit here and let them do whatever they want to do. I'm not talking about like let them and I'm just going to get like mistreated and disrespected and not like standing in my boundaries and my ground. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you're walking down the street, like, oh, I wonder what they're thinking of me. Or you said something like sometimes like it's like I want some things I want to give specifics, but I don't want to like put people's business out there. But I have I had this thing earlier this week and I couldn't go. Well, that's not true. I chose not to go because I wanted to be with my family and my Dylan Joy. And when I told the person that I couldn't be, that I wasn't going to be there, I didn't say I couldn't. I said I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be with my daughter. I got a little bit of a reaction, you know, like let them. All right, I don't got to explain to you. You don't got kids, right? You know what it's like. So I let him, and I did, and it was fine. But then on my way home, I was like, oh, you know, sometimes like the people pleasing come out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have explained myself this and that. This is what I couldn't do it because I have all these things going on, and I want to make sure that I'm at home certain times of the day. And then I'm like, you know what? No, 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 no. And you know who's really good at this that I've learned so much about this from? My husband. Talk about the let them. My husband is like the king of let them. Like he is truly such a confident man. He is a king in his own damn land, right? He is going to be respectful. He's going to show up. He's a man of integrity. He owns. I told him the other day, I'm like, would you be on the podcast? And maybe if I tell him about this, maybe he'll say yes. Because I'm like, do you want to talk? And he's like, well, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. And he's like, anyways, he is the king of let them. He has such strong boundaries. He knows who he is. So he was helping me with something else the other day. And I was like, well, I'm going to follow up and have a call with the person. This is something different. Have a call with the person, let them know what happened. It's basically an agency that I'm thinking about, you know, in essence, firing them and not working with them anymore. And I was like, you know what? But I'm going to talk to the owner, let them know what happened. And he's like, maybe you just cancel you cancel the membership. And then if they like, how did he say it? Oh, have they earned your feedback? And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Because he's like, you're going to go and you want to give them feedback, assuming they want to hear it, which is true. They may not even not want to, but you're going to give them really good business advice and guidance in order to avoid getting fired, right? As a client, as the service, assuming they want it. But let's say they do, they let them like have them earn it. Let them come to you and be like, listen, what happened? I want to talk about this. Like, you don't necessarily have to like volunteer really good business advice or strategy out of anything. And I was like, oh, that's such a good point. So it's like, let them, in essence, like let them feel what they're going to feel, you know, if they're unhappy about it, if they're a little shocked, but they can come to you and ask you about it. So my husband is the king of let them. So when you practice the let them theory, you are like, stop trying to fix and please or convince others, right? So clients, like I had a client that I worked with for a few months. She's awesome. She's really, really great. And she took a little break and she's like, okay, after a couple months, I'm going to come back this month and whatever. And I was like, sure, great. I love that. I think it's so important to like take a break and then come back and practice everything we've done together. So I was like, and usually when that happens, I always tell them like, I'll text you or I'll email you or I'll send you a little voice note and call you just like a little reminder so we can start again. Awesome. So the months went by, then I did a little voice note, a little text, you know, like professionally, respectfully, never got back to me, right? I am such a woman of integrity that like even currently with my own coach, I've worked with her. I love her. She's amazing for over 6 years. And there are seasons in my life that I talk to her every single week. There are seasons in my life that I talk to her once a month. There is this current season in my life that I'm not working with her actively, right? Like starting in, I think it was like January that I said, you know what, let's take a little break. I have a lot of things going on right now. I want to put things into practice. And she's like, oh, I told her on the phone, of course, Steph, no problem. Whenever you're ready, you know the deal. Text me. Then if I see a flower that I love or certain things, I've gotten to know her over the years. I love her. Then I'll send her a text. Like her birthday was a few weeks ago. I send her like, but this whole thing about like, oh, I'm gonna get back to you so we can continue working together, and then they like ghost you or they never like close the loop, let them, right? Like I remember I had another friend that when I was leaving corporate and I told her about it, she was like, well, I mean, what, like, I mean, coaching 9 years ago, let me tell you, it was just like beyond taboo. Like I don't think most people had heard of it. Like I was really ahead of my time by becoming a coach, you know, certifying myself as a coach 9 years ago, if I may say so myself. But I told her about it and she was also really unhappy in her job. So I am sure that played a part. Well, are you sure? Like, how are you gonna make money? Or like, I don't think that's a great idea. Like all these things. Great, let them. I was like, girl, I don't got to explain myself to you. Like, this is what I'm doing, right? Or, you know, in the past, you have like, let me tell you, I have done a lot of things in my life. And I remember this was 2019. I always wanted to do a silent retreat. And you know what? I'm going to do an episode of this because I had written it in my blog. I have a blog about this from like 6, 7 years ago, but I had never done a podcast episode on it. So I'm going to bring this back to life. But I wanted to do, I had read about this. It's called Vipassana, and it's a type of meditation. And I had read about Vipassana and I wanted to do a silent retreat, and they do like 3 days, 5 days. Of course, being who I am, I wanted to do the 10-day. It was a 10-day silent retreat. And let me tell you, people are not comfortable. It's so wild. Like I didn't tell everybody. And you know, back then social media was also a little bit different. But I told a few people in my life, and they were just like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? Are you sure you're going to be okay? Like they were so projecting. And then I was like, excuse me, I have made the decision, right? This is not putting anybody at risk, right? Like I'm going to be fine. I will. And even some like close people in my life, if you hear like a little is because I have a jacket and it has like these little belt loops. Anyways, so I said, I will give you, I have researched this place. It is a legit place. And I get it. People, listen, people worry about you, they care about you, and all of that is fair. But you also get to do what you need to do in your own life, right? So I was like, I'll give you, it was like a couple of my like friends and family members, I'll give you the name of the retreat. I will call you when I get there, because the thing is, you couldn't have access to like your phone. You would literally have to leave your cell phone, all of your belongings except for your clothes, obviously, and like a little locker for 10 days. And if you were so like I remember day 4, day 3 or day 4, I really, oh my God, I was really missing my husband. And I was also worried that he was worried. So if you had cases where you were really worried and it was taking you away from the experience, then there was like an hour a day where, or like they would open up like 90 minutes a day where you could have like a 3 minute conversation with somebody if you felt like this was really difficult for you. So I think it was like day 3 or day 4. I said, can you please call my husband? This is his number. Let him know that I am okay. I am happy. I am okay. And then he can tell my family. So that morning they called him, and then that day, it also happened that he had called the place to check on me. Oh my God, I could cry. So I had left that message. And then at noon, I had come back to my room to like take a nap or whatever it was. And then I had a little note from the counselor that said, your husband also called. And then it was like this beautiful little love note. And he hopes that you're good. He loves you. He misses you. Enjoy the experience. We told him that you were okay. That also brought a ton of peace in my heart. But that let them, like a lot of people didn't understand that I wanted to be, you were literally I was silent except for that one little interaction for 10 days. You would wake up at 4 in the morning, meditate until 6, then it was breakfast from like 6 to 7, then you meditate 7 to 10, then you would have a snack, then you meditated from like 11 to 1, then you had lunch, and then I think a nap, and then you meditated from like 4 to 7, and then you went to bed. And that was the day for 10 days. And I loved it. And it was great. It was exactly what I needed. When I told people in my life and they're like misunderstanding my own spiritual path and what I needed from the experience, let them, right? Family may not respect your opinion. Let them. Like, the whole point is you do not have to explain yourself. There are certain times that, of course, there are explanations needed and valid, right? But I would guarantee to say like 85% of your life, 90% of your life, you get to reclaim your freedom, your sexiness, your power, who you be, right? And the people that are here for you, that love you, that appreciate you exactly as you are, they're going to stay. The people that you are ruffling their feathers and they are using you subconsciously or consciously, they're going to fall through the cracks through your waistline and they're no longer going to be in your life. And that's great because you want to bloom your authenticity, your power, your core self, your essence of who you are, right? So like let them. Even as I'm like reflecting, I got my first tattoo on my wrist. Again, if you are on video, you can watch it, but it's this one right here. And it's now, I mean, I love this tattoo. I've had it for like a long time. It was supposed to be so much smaller, but this little, anyways, it is the lotus flower, and it's a symbol of the lotus flower in Sanskrit, which, lotus flower, they're always living above water, like the mud to the water, hard situations that they get to flourish in. All the things are very important to me. And I've known these philosophies in life since I was really young. I was the first one in my family to get a tattoo. And I was so nervous to tell my parents. I come from like a very traditional Latin uprooting or whatever culture. Not a lot of people have tattoos. And I felt like a little bit of a rebel. But, I don't know what my family was going to say. I know they love me. I don't know if they were going to be on board or not or whatever, but like, let them, like, of course they accepted me. They were fine. And now other few members of my family have gotten tattoos smaller and here and there, but like all of that to say, like, let them, right? If you're doing bigger things, if you choose to explain because you want to invite them into your life and things that are intimate and important to you, you get to do that. And especially as women, we don't have to explain our every move, right? Cut your hair, get the tattoo, don't shave your legs, paint your hair colors, quit your job, start your business, get certified in Reiki, write your book, like travel the world, like break free from the chains. You know what I mean? Like, do you, be you, own you. So one little practice as we're closing this out is there might be people in your life that you're like, Steph, this is great for like my friends or my coworkers. This feels really hard for my parents or my best friend or my sister, right? Or my grandmother or somebody that you feel like you really need to like impress or you want to get their approval or it feels really hard to be you. Something I really like to do if you have somebody that you feel like you have to convince or please or get their approval, it's just like close your eyes and see them, in like your third eye, in that space right between your eyebrows, right? In your intuition. And visualize. So let me explain this for a second. When you have like intimate relationships with people, whether they're like physically intimate, sexually intimate, or like emotionally intimate, you have these like, I was just talking about this at the beginning of the episode. You have these like invisible, they're not umbilical cords, but you have these invisible cords that if you imagine just like little cords that connect you to the person, right? And they're fine, they're good until they become codependent or until these little cords begin to drain your energy and not feel so good. So sometimes if there are people in your life that you're like, I really want their approval, but that means that I'm not honoring who I am. I really want them to think of me of a certain way, but you're selling yourself out. When you're doing this little meditation and this grounding that you're bringing them close to mind, I want you to visualize that you are like not just cutting the cords. People in this like spiritual world, they talk about like you cut the cords. You don't want to cut them because when you cut a cord, there's still like a little piece hanging. You want to unplug. So it's as if you are like when you're plucking a hair, like an eyebrow hair or whatever. You want to unplug the cord from them, unplug the cord for you. And if you're a really visual person, you can grab that cord. I like to usually gently, intentionally throw it in the ocean as a way to symbolize that it's being released and evaporated and transmuted into love and light. But you unplug the cords and you create a healthy distance between you and this person, right? Or you and this relationship. And then I love this little affirmation that you can say, I choose peace over performance. I choose alignment over approval. That's a really good one. I choose alignment over approval, right? So that's the theory. So I really welcome you, to challenge you, support you in this week. If you feel like you have to explain yourself, if you feel like you're really mad, so-and-so thinks that I'm selfish, or so-and-so, if you get a DM or a comment or something, let them. There are billions and billions of people in the world. There is no way that everybody has the same opinion of you. Just like for them, there are billions and billions of people and hundreds and dozens of people that you're interacting with. You're thinking about them differently. We have the let's say like a common friend, I don't know, Mary. The way I think about Mary is going to be different than the way you think about Mary. Maybe we have some commonalities, right? Like, oh, Mary's tall or she's nice. But maybe you think she's selfish. Maybe I think she's super empowered. Maybe John thinks Mary is smart. You know what I mean? Like, everybody gets to have their opinion of how they feel about the person, the world, the sky, the situation, and let them, and begin to notice how, like I did with that experience I had earlier this week, I'm like, oh my God, what do they think? I need to explain myself. Let them. I made my choice. I feel good in my choice. It's a choice that I want to make for me and my family. However they want to think about them, I am going to let them. So I hope that today's episode just give you a little bit more space to breathe, to be, right? You don't have to carry the weight of others' opinions, right? So I love for you to tag me or DM me your favorite, let them moment this week, Send me a little DM on Instagram at Stephanie Verchot, and I let them ABC, and it felt so freeing. Also, if you have a friend or a family member or somebody that you love that could use this episode, please send them along. I love for you to spread the magic of Joyfully Empowered. And lastly, if you have loved this episode, go and take your little tushy to Apple Podcasts, unless you're there already. Go to Joyfully Empower and leave a review, even if it's like, I love it, she's great, it made me feel so good, anything, even like a little 5 stars. If you don't want to write anything in the comment, would be so helpful to continue spreading the magic of Joyfully Empowered. Until next time, my friends, stay joyful, stay playful, stay you. Take care, and I will see you next week.